Let's watch the second part of my push to 4,270 trophies in Tour 9 of Tennis Clash, a sports game published by White Live Studios. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay 365 and to turn on the bell if you like this video. You are going to see in this second part the matches that made me climb from 3,750 to 3,950 trophies. I faced in the first match Krug. He was using the same style and same build than me. He had slightly better stats, very simply because he maxed all of his epic cards using this lineup. We both play with the combo load. The only difference was, besides the fact that he maxed all cards, the use of the string. I was using the special string garland fiber that had the forehand counter, stamina shield tier 2 and critical tier 2. Krug was using the bunny cord, which has the forehand counter ability too, but only a stamina shield tier 1, and that may be detrimental for him by the end of the match. Instead of the critical, he has the long catch tier 2. So Krug was making fun of me there by saying nice shot after my unforced error. That was not very fair play, and this is something that is not very efficient actually, to make the opponent feel uncomfortable or irritated, because generally it can fire back and make the opponent to be even more focused to play better, in order to show that he shouldn't say something like that. You can notice the unusual way of serving of Krug. This is not very usual in Tour 9, but this is usual for him. He likes to hit the serves that way and alternate a lot between hard shots and soft shots. And that way of hitting makes you be unable to keep a steady pace in your gameplay. You know, you can't keep hitting a fast-paced shots against this kind of hitting. And so it can be a good strategy to use versus players who prefer to hit always at the same pace, you know, strong shots all the time. But of course, versus this kind of hitting pattern, you can use the same strategy, hitting soft shots. Those laughing emojis launched by Krug in the end of the match seem really embarrassing. Let's play the second match versus Professor X. He was using a very strong serve, huge forehand build, while I was using the counter puncher style with antioxidants instead of carbo load to have more stamina. And this surplus of stamina will be helpful so as to use the anniversary string efficiently. The anniversary string is a special string that has the forehand counter ability, the long catch tier 2, but only a stamina shield tier 1, so you need more stamina to use it. Professor X was using only the nylon string. That can be enough, because if he hits strong serves enough, followed by huge forehand shots, then he doesn't need to keep a lot of stamina, because he can end rallies very fast. Of course, without the anniversary string, that would be almost impossible there, because you won't have the precision, you won't have the long catch tier 2 to return those huge forehand shots that are normally forehand winners, and you do have some forehand winners in this match. It's pretty tricky until the moment Professor X started to see his stamina depleted. Then his Victoria can't run very fast anymore. And of course, by the end of the match, as always, Kaito has a huge advantage over his big forehand Victoria, and I know what I'm talking about. I have faced this situation a lot of times when I play with high serve big forehand Victoria, so I know that playing with Kaito I just need to hold with my stamina until the end. And then Victoria is doomed. I play in this third match with the low serve aggressive baseliner style using my preferred character Victoria. So I was using Victoria very simply because I saw that there were too many volley players in Tour 9 at that moment. I was using the simple Maestro Monte, and that is very often enough, especially when you use low serve 2 strong hands Victoria versus a volley player, because this build is a kind of nightmare for volley players. The 2 very strong hands are very dangerous for serve volley players to counter. I was trying to hit some soft cross-court shots there, but they were not very efficient. And this fly player was quickly leading 4-1, then 5-1. That is obviously very tricky to come back versus volley players when you are led that much. But with low serve, 2 strong hands Victoria, everything is possible. That was a brilliant volley there. He thought that that was a home run, but it was not. I never tried to hit home runs on purpose versus volley players, especially in Tour 9. That is almost useless because there are a lot of top volley players who are very experienced and who knows which shots are home runs. And sometimes they ignore them by error, but most of the time they ignore the balls correctly. Very nice. Soft forehand shot there. That one was pretty tricky to counter. He seemed to have an internet connection there. And by the end, an intimate passing shot was enough. You can notice that I don't try to hit as hard as possible, preferring to avoid the net. Let's play now versus one of the best volley players in Tour 9, Max Bro. This time it's not with Victoria that I play. I use the counter puncher style with antioxidants instead of carbo load. That build is not so efficient versus volley players. Generally, it's better to play with the carbo load. Yeah, Max Pro didn't like much that soft cross-court shot. As you can see, drawing the serve volley player to the net, then hit a lob, that can work. Not too bad. But it's not that easy. Versus Max Pro, he has some very nice drop volleys. But overall, the soft cross-court shots work pretty well. Very nice serve. Well, I felt that I shouldn't have returned that volley there. That seemed to go out. That one will seem to get out of bound too. But Max Pro returned it. As you can see, when the serve volley player has less stamina, that is easier to hit the soft cross-court shots correctly, efficiently. And by the end, the lack of stamina was quite detrimental for Max Pro, who committed more unforced errors than usual. Let's play now with Kaito versus the strong serve, big forehand, decent backhand, batch rangi. I was using the bunny cord, which has the forehand counter ability, as you know. You have seen it in the previous match in this video. I wouldn't have chosen the bunny cord if I was using the carbo load build. Then I would take the garden fiber. But with antioxidants, you can use this special string. As usual, counter punches using forehand counter special strings can lead very quickly and easily versus strong serve or high serve big forehand players. But afterwards, once they have less stamina, this is more tricky. I have seen that situation so many times, being led 1-5 or even 1-6 and then come back when I play with high serve big forehand Victoria versus Kaito using forehand counter strings having no stamina shield like Syrian Warrior or only stamina shield tier 1. And as you can see, a soft crosscourt shot works wonders versus the low agility Victoria. Let's face now a very powerful counter puncher with huge agility of 89, which is possible with a max Hades threat. So the game bugged there and I had to start the match later, losing the first point without playing. My opponent was using this Centurion string, which can be pretty efficient if he hits very hard, and this is the case. This player hits very hard. The Centurion string has a critical tier 3, so my opponent has a lot of chance to hit a critical shot. But the problem with this special string is that it has only a stamina shield tier 1. And my opponent had only a 43 of stamina due to the fact that the Hades threat doesn't have any stamina stat. So of course, even if my bunny cord string has only a stamina shield tier 1, I will still have an edge because my stamina stat is pretty higher right from the start of the match. And the difference of stamina can be very important in the outcome of the match, especially between two counter punchers. Basically, you just need to remain accurate and position a minimum your character so as to avoid being outflanked. Then wait for your opponent to commit an unforced error first, or simply wait for your time to hit an offensive shot. Let's play now with the strong serve, big forehand, decent backhand Victoria versus a very good volley player, Wayne Vic, who used to play a lot with high serve big forehand and who switched to volley lately. So as you can see, the serve of my Victoria was not high. I prefer to give her more agility. with that build at the expense of the serve stat. And that serve stat was enough to play versus serve volley players. This is way enough to put them in a difficult position. While Vic's volleys are very accurate. And he activated quick catch very often in this match. Still, in a lot of situations, he could not be accurate due to the big forehand of Victoria. And this is exactly what Victoria loves to do, hitting big forehand winners against the volley players. I'm going to show you now the build that I use most often in those matches. You are going to see in the next part the following matches of my climb to 4,270 trophies. Well, I hope you enjoy watching the second part of my push to 4,270 trophies in Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay 365 and to turn on the bell to stay tuned for new videos of Tennis Clash. Thank you a lot for your support, and see you soon in Gameplay 365. Bye bye.